Well, Jeff, practice number one for the bowl week. How did the guys look out there today?
They're good. You can tell they enjoy school being out and just getting to play football, right? Let's be honest. Only a few of them probably really like going to school. I know we're not supposed to say that, but I got a degree because I was made to get one. I'm really glad I got two of them now. But school was the incentive to make me go, and they're loving just playing football right now.
What are the impressions of Troy from what you've seen so far? Having a chance to take a look at what they do.
A lot of respect for Coach Summerall and those guys. They play really hard. They remind me a lot of us. I mean, you can tell they like to play football. They fly around. They have a good time. I would hope people would say we're well coached. They're very well coached. They don't beat themselves. 10-game winning streak. They just move. When you turn their video on, they're just like ants flying around, moving around everywhere, and really impressed with them. And a lot of respect. They gained our respect. I was watching them through the year. Coach Craddock's a good friend of mine, the offensive coordinator, and they were playing teams that we were playing. So obviously you root for your buddies. So I'm watching them just as a fan. And obviously the App State game got my attention, and so they're a fun team to watch.
Jeff, we haven't spoke to you since Will left for Oregon. What's the plan moving forward? Is Coach Burke going to call the plays for the bowl game?
He is, and we'll do our best to split up those special team assignments, and we'll just get through it, right? And when we're done with the bowl, we'll reevaluate and make some decisions. But as far as the play calling duties, it'll be very similar. It'll be him. Our staff always has shared responsibilities on that. Coach Maddox obviously has a heavy input, as does Coach Traylor, my brother, on the run game. And obviously our staff has a lot, third down, coming out, red zone, base install. It's very, a collaborative effort. And I know nobody likes to hear that because it's better to be, there's just this one genius in there thinking of all these plays. And it's really just not that way, right? And Will did a great job, and we're going to miss Will. And I love Will and Darby, and I haven't got to see Joey yet. So that's just crushes me. Bittersweet, I guess would be the way to describe that. It was quicker than I thought. I knew at some point. I also know in order for us to sustain success, we've got to get it where our salary pools. I know we can't jump to $850 overnight. I get that, but we've got to at least get it where my guys. Will didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave, but we've got to get it. We got enough of a brand, enough of a city, and enough players and winning. Those guys won't leave unless it's just stupid money. So we've got to get our salary pool better, and we're working on that. President Amy and Dr. Compost have given me that commitment, and we've already made some improvements already.
I believe this is the first time Coach Burke will be calling plays in his career. What made you feel he was ready for that responsibility at this point?
No, he's called them before. He's called them at South Florida for Charlie there when at some point in there he was the interim. Very similar to this. Burke's taught me as much offense as anybody, and him and Coach Stein. When I was at Texas, I thought I knew everything, but that West Coast offense was foreign to me. And it was a little bit intimidating, to be honest with you. And Sean Watson was the OC, and that was his philosophy, and I loved it. I just had to learn it. So we'd work all day with Charlie, and I would have Burke and Stein. I live with Will, and Justin's kind of a real serious. He didn't smile a whole lot, so I wasn't a big fan. And Will just loved Burke, and always told me how great Burke was. So I started including Burke in the late night chalk sessions trying to learn this West Coast offense. And to me, he's freaking almost a savant. I mean that. He's brilliant. And him and Will taught me the principles of all that. So we've done our best to kind of combine the stuff that we've known as far as turbo and tempo and spread with as much of that West Coast as possible. And we all sat down together, and this UTSA offense it is what it is, but let's don't forget it's a player's game. We've got great players, and they've gotten Barry Lundy Jr. a really good job, and they've gotten Will Stein a really good job.
How are you seeing the players this week approaching the challenge of trying to win the first bowl game in program history? Is that an important name? Can you sense that with them?
I do think that. I think they're motivated to do that. We'll know more when the grades come back. Last year's team said that too, but we got decimated with grades and COVID about this time, and opt-outs. So we hadn't had any opt-outs. Knock on wood, we hadn't had any COVID yet, and I hope we pass all of our classes.
You guys have mentioned this as a destination bowl with all that there is to do in Orlando and the luxury of that. Is there any balance there of then keeping the focus on the football part of it? Do you have to do anything different in that sense?
Come on, man. They're here in San Antonio. There's a lot of fun stuff to do in San Antonio. This is a destination city too. I mean, there's a few things different you can do in Orlando than you can't do in San Antonio, but not many. Come on. So the most important coach in their life is them. They'll have a curfew like they always do. We'll check it. It's going to be up to them. I'm not going to walk around behind them the whole time. But they have a curfew, and I'll know. We were focused last year. We just ran out of people, and San Diego State was really good. I'm not dare take anything away from them. We just were out of people, and I'll sense it. My concern is going to the game. We're already so down injuries already. How many more hits can we take?
Jeff, what is the injury status overall of the team? Obviously, the long-term guys aren't coming back, but did you lose anybody, from the last game, and you expect any guys to be out?
No, I would say our roster that played should play unless we get somebody injured in practice. Obviously, you're still hoping Trey Smith can come back at some point from that ankle injury. That's the darndest ankle injury I've ever seen in my life. So I would say unless we lose somebody in injury, it'll be only good news. Drew Prox didn't play in that game. We hope we can get him back. Things like that.
Yeah. What do you guys accomplish? I think you're going to practice tomorrow here and then go up Monday, or what's the schedule like?
Saturday, practice Sunday, walk through Monday morning, get on the plane, go to Orlando.
It seems like every year bowl games almost take on less and less significance with the amount of injuries, or not injuries, but opt-outs and different things you say where people choose not to play in this game. How do you sort of rate the importance or the hunger that people bring to these games compared to other points of the season?
It's obviously not what it used to be when I was a kid, but I sense on my team right now it's still important, and I hope that's the way it is. I can't speak for other coaches and players, but maybe one of y'all told me one of the Final Four kids opted out. So it's just, I know that gets a lot of people's opinions, and I even caught some flack last year for taking Tariq and sincere to the game with me, but it's just, I'm not like that. I'm gonna try to support the kids and be the best I can for them, and not get into that world, because I understand it, man. They're really close to getting to their dreams, some of those guys, and it's tough.
At this point, what did Coach Traylor learn the last 2 years in the bowl preparation, what you guys were doing at the bowl that maybe was in the notepad that it was like, you know what, I want to do this maybe a little bit differently this time?
Yeah, well, the first year I didn't get to experience it because I had COVID, so I had to miss it. So this was my first one last time, believe it or not. And I always write a lot of notes, and the biggest deal was I didn't like some things about our schedule. So we've already tweaked those already, and we'll tweak them when we get there. The biggest deal is always the same: morale of the troops, and we had great morale last year. We had no distractions. We had nobody getting in trouble. We had no indication. San Diego State was really good. We drew another great team. When Coach Loney went over there with the fellas 2 years ago, Louisiana Lafayette's a really good team. Billy Napier's a really good coach. I think Lafayette might have been ranked 15th or 17th back then, and I think San Diego State was top 20, 22, and now we got another team that's top 20, 22, whatever we all are. So we've drawn 3 top 25 teams in 3 years. I'd like to draw a 5 and 7 team once. 6 and 6, that'd make it a lot better. I had that written down too.
Jeff, I have to ask you about my report about you being offered a Power 5 job. Can you just comment on that?
Whenever you win, there's just going to be rumors, and there just is. And just because there's rumors don't even mean they're true. Just because they call and talk to my agent, and my agent calls me, and so I'm good where I am, right? So that's about all I'll say. And I made a commitment here, and I'm still sticking to it. And we just got to hurry. It's just going faster than I even thought. We've got to expedite, and facilities have got to get there quick. Coach's salary's got to get there. NIL, it looks like from what I'm reading and seeing, it's getting there. If we get those 3 things, we can stay here, man, and these interviews can be fun for a long time. Now, Greg's already told me as soon as I start losing, he's taking me down. So he warned me at least. Hope you other guys are going to be better to me than Greg. At least Greg told me so.
You mentioned with Frank, for him to land that deal this year, how important is that in terms of when you're thinking about that big picture to see that level of commitment to keep a player like that around?
Everybody loves Frank. Kids love Frank. They know Frank's getting what it sounds like getting a nice little chunk, but they know the more he's getting, the more other people are giving too. And the people that are against it, I get it. They're already getting a scholarship, blah, 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 blah. And you don't have to be a part of that. That's fine. I get it. I do. But once you know Kavorian Barnes, once you know Zakari Franklin, once you know Cephas, once you know Jamal Liggins, once you know those kids, if you like them, how cool would that be? I just think back when I was a fan, if I really liked a certain player, that I could have access to that player. If maybe I just do a little NIL deal with him and he'll come to a birthday party and hang out a little bit. I think it's cool because it's the free enterprise system. You don't have to do it. If you want to do it, you can. And nobody has to be mad. Those kids are great and they want to serve. Not one of my kids has just been like, give me money, I ain't doing nothing. And I don't have that on my team. Every one of those kids have a good heart. They want to go talk to people, minister. I think it's a win-win for everybody, and it's good for our team. I mean, we got recruits hitting us up like crazy because of Frank. We got players on our team excited because of Frank, and I understand Eddie Lee and Cam. Those guys are like, golly, I got to wait another year. That's tough, but I'm glad he's back.
Have you sorted out all of the players who are sort of iffy on whether they're going to take that extra year, or is some of that still a work in progress?
We're still working through it. We got draft grades coming back and draft evals coming back, and just we got to work through all that still with a few guys.
Has Zakari given you an indication yet?
He's not. He is not. He's one of the ones we're just waiting to see. Now with NIL, and if you're not a third round grade, fourth round grade, maybe a fifth. I don't know. Depends on how much you like playing, how much your NILs are. So that's a lot to weigh on those young men.
Jeff, what's your excitement level headed down to the Riverwalk tonight?
I think it's incredible what Ron called me from India, and Eric Walsh. I mean, those two guys to do this, they've been great. Just the whole city's just wonderful. I bet it'll be awesome tonight. We've got 18 official visits in tonight. It was 14, now it's 18. So we're going to have 18 of our players there. Not our player, hopeful players. It's probably a violation. 18 hopeful players that'll be there, and they'll get to see why I love the city so much. I love being around them. I love being around the people. They're loyal. There's some loyal Roadrunner fans. I can't go anywhere on Buc-ee's. I don't care anywhere from East Texas. If I went to see my dad, everywhere I stopped on Buc-ee's, there were multiple Roadrunner fans, and we took multiple selfies. I'm just trying to get me some chocolate-covered almonds. There are Roadrunner fans everywhere right now.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank y'all, man.